Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? Holla at your boy, it's me, Jerremy Alexander Newsome with the one, the only real life trading who's doing absolutely fantastic. So it's Wednesday, the middle of the week, hump day, which means that your real life stock review is here, baking up at a nice 350 degrees. The SPY today, just chilling, realistically, still kind of in that stair-step pattern, more or less. However, we did this morning retest this neckline that we're kind of talking about a little bit. So the low of this candle, we didn't quite get there. So I missed a bullish trade on SPY just by pennies. Don't worry though, made up for it on Apple. Really good stair step pattern is hanging out. The 10 EMA was at 237.63 and the low of today was 237.70. So right now, we're still kind of in a stair-step pattern on the SPY. Nothing really new to report. It's just hanging out, doing its thing. Here's the Qs. Made a new all-time high yesterday. Today is a little bit of a new black crow candle. The last three candles look a little evening star reversal-ish. Realistically, that makes sense, right? Big moves like this probably get some kind of pullback to a moving average, kind of like it did back here. And then from there, it probably bounces more than likely. Why not? So that's kind of what the Qs are doing. No positions for me on the Qs as of right now. IWM, which is the Russell 2000, not doing too much, pulling back a little bit. My buddy Adrian's in a great condor and Mark's in a bull put spread. Really kind of waiting for the IWM to pull back a little bit farther and keep an eye on it really close to the 100 or this 133.85 area. Somewhere in here, just watching for a good bullish candle or some good bullish volume to come in on the IWM. That's where I'll be looking to get into a bull put spread. And then the Dow Jones trade sideways looks very much like a, you got it, flag pattern, FLAG, correct. So congrats, just hanging out on the Dow. Still looks more bullish to neutral, but I don't have any position on this particular ETF. So let's go look at some individual stocks. My good buddy, new trader, Kevin, real life trader from Sarasota, Florida, wants to look at ticker symbol FN, Fabrinet, I believe it's called. And just yesterday, the high was 36, and he was looking at playing this one bullish off of this support. I don't know if it hit his target or not, but he got really, really close. He said he got in bullish on this day, and he had a target. It was based mostly on the hourly chart, so I don't think it hit his target yesterday, but he got really, really close. So FN, kind of zooming out here on the daily chart, here's that support resistance level. And today we actually gapped down, surprisingly so, on ticker symbol FN. It's kind of a random gap for sure. But you had a really, really good support resistance level here at about 34. And we bounced a little bit. We gapped down today. Really nice bearish retest gap. Here's the 5-minute chart for those day trading. I did not day trade this one, but you easily could have. I had a really, really good gap. Some people were definitely trapped. And there's your 5-minute candle on a white. There's your white 5-minute candle on a 5-minute time frame. There's another one. So really, if you're playing that breakdown or retest on FN as a day trade, worked out really well. So anyway, hope you got a chance to get out yesterday, Kevin. If you didn't, good job mitigating your risk, and there will be another one on the horizon for you, brother man. Next is Twitter. Few folks in Twitter are bullish. We missed this one. So let me actually go back in time really quick and just talk about really the last time I was looking at Twitter back here on the 26th of April, 2017. Nice candle, probably going to be a decent bracket trade opportunity. Still pretty shocked that Twitter gapped up on earnings, but no big deal. If Twitter breaks the high of today and closes above there, more bullish than bearish. And if we break below and close below the low of today, more bearish than bullish on Twitter. Right, so quick analysis. You want to listen really closely to all the stocks that I review here in the stock review because they are requested, but the analysis is still pretty pinpoint. So we did close above that candle the very next day, the 27th of April. So the setup that we had officially here at Real Life Trading is we wanted an enter with June calls at 87 cents on a pullback the next day with a stop right there. Unfortunately, we got a dime. That's right, 10 cents away from our trigger on the very next day, which was Friday. So we missed the bullish trade on Twitter, or at least I did. My good buddy Brian Montgomery is in on Twitter, and he's making some money. Charles Wade's also in. So me personally, I just didn't get triggered in. Had a great bullish gap on Monday. Nice move today. And pretty much my expectation, if you're not in Twitter, look for some kind of pullback into a moving average and then play the bounce. But next target is this purple line, which is about 1963. on Twitter. Here's Baba. Baba finally making its way into my 2017 target on BABA. I figured I would just pull this one up as a why not, because a lot of traders made some solid coinage on Baba over the last few weeks. So congratulations. I'll talk about what to do from here. So here is Baba, and here is the 10th of January. So kind of time warping back, and this was my year-to-date target on Baba, and we're looking at that as 116.72, 117.08 pretty much. And there you can go. You see it, just traded right up to it. Nice little upper shadow at this point. A lot of traders doing well on leaps, put sales, stock. However you're playing Baba or however you played Baba, congratulations if you snagged some money on it. Well done. So now looking at it on a weekly chart, what to do? Well, the interesting thing is on Baba, you have a lot of white candles in a row. So let me let this pull up and actually load here. And what you'll notice on Baba is you have a lot of bullish candles in a row, starting back from that analysis I just posted from January. So all these white candles in a row, this all-time high, really at 120. That's the highest that Baba's ever been. At this point, looking for a very understandable, very reasonable pullback into old resistance, new support. Pretty simplistic if you ask me on Baba, and that's what I'll be waiting for. Now, of course, let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say earnings comes out in the next few days, which it does, and we gap up into the all-time high territory. Well, this one would be as easy to play as shuffleboard is. At that point, I would look to play a retest into the all-time high and then a bounce off of that on Alibaba. So that's pretty much my thoughts on BA from here. Looking pretty good. Boom, there we go. You'll notice TJ requesting AMD, and this is a fun one. AMD, as of yesterday, was the biggest one-day loss in 12 years, according to one or two sites. Huge gap down, and you can just see the massive amount of people that are trapped on AMD. The thing is to think about AMD, a lot of people were buying AMD up here because of this move here on the weekly chart. And again, not too terribly long ago, I was mentioning on AMD, don't be a buyer up here. Look for a pullback of some kind before you're getting in on AMD long. This might be it. Now, granted, we could go a little bit lower as well on AMD. There's definitely a head and shoulders pattern that is brewing right here. And here's kind of the head and shoulders look. It's pretty ugly. Something like that. And then with this bearish gap action, very strong bearish gap and go, you can just see everybody getting trapped right there. Broke that support very nicely. So yesterday, I mean, it just got shredded. Beautiful bearish trade. My good buddy Zane over there in Denver, Colorado snagged a really good trade setup on it. Pretty easy too, honestly. In the first few minutes, if you didn't get a chance to trade the opening, that's fine because it retested and then it formed this thing. We can all see that. That's a double top that dreams are made out of right there. Support, broke that support. If you didn't get a chance to take that one, then this support broke as well. And we were looking at that trade in the morning day trading room yesterday on AMD. And a few traders were trading it. So AMD, beautiful gap. Amazing place to be, that real life day trading room. So AMD, good breakdown. What's it going to do from here? Well, pretty interesting candle that we got so far today. This is actually a weekly options newsletter setup as well. You sneaky guys, you peeked into it. So the weekly options newsletter, looking at buying some puts at 60 cents on a retest, but might be canceling that one soon because it really did get very close to the first target today. Pretty much it got there. And at this point, I'll be keeping an eye on AMD to see if it can close below this candle, but it did retest. We came within a few pennies of triggering that limit buy, but it didn't quite happen, so I might peel that one off the table on AMD. Disney was another one requested, as you'll notice, by TJ and Kevin. Here's ticker symbol DIS, and this is going to be fun, folks, on Disney. Let's talk about and actually transfer back in time to just yesterday, where I was doing some analysis on Disney in the afternoon real-life swing trading room. Again, I mean, guys, I will say this angle is not sustainable. Right there on Disney, it's just simply not. Won't happen. Won't stay that way. Not saying that in a negative way, but here's what I would like. I know a lot of you own shares of Disney, so just kind of put this into your plan and expect this. It's coming. It happened on Facebook, and I'll show that to you next, but all we need is something like this. Bloop. Right? Some kind of just quick snap. Everyone's like, oh no, or they freak out. And then all the shorters hop on. They're like, oh no. And then, we are smart and then we buy and then it goes higher.
That's pretty much what I got planned for Disney. Waiting for that little quick snap, and then I'll kind of look to play it.
Hey folks, here's the deal. That room's open every single day, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 Eastern Standard Time, and I do record it. If you can't make it there live, all I'm saying is we do a lot of research, we talk about a lot of stocks, we do a lot of analysis, and we're killing it. So Disney, this is the pullback, this is the snapback that I was describing. It's happening right now, and I'm looking forward to pulling to the 100-something moving average. Then the big question mark is going to be what's going to happen on earnings, and I think it'll be a buyable event. I'm hoping that earnings is kind of a non-event, but here's the bottom line. If we continue to sell off like we're doing here on Disney, and earnings, we start to kind of bounce, look to buy the dip. I like this pullback. I think it's good. It was needed. There's no way that angle is going to hold up. So good pullback, 100-something moving average. Watch for it to bounce off of that beast right there. 2 or 3 other trades. We got Ford, ticker symbol F, and Ford starting to break down out of a little bit of a support. So here's the weekly chart, and you'll notice this giant triangle pattern. So I am keeping an eye on Ford. If you do invest in Ford, I do not personally, but there is a little bit of a support, kind of your last glimmer of hope, if you will, right here at about 1137. But it kind of appears that these lower highs coming in and these relative lows or these higher lows are starting to break down recently with volume. My personal thoughts, Ford slowly trades down to 9, and then from there it probably bounces, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it likely is at this point starting to break out of this triangle, and it'll just be a slow bearish move in the 9. So if you are a shareholder, just expect that. And if you're owning it long term, you like the dividends, it's a long term buy and hold for you, just something to keep in mind, right? So that way if it happens, you at least planned it and expected it, and you don't have to worry or freak out. Here's Baidu, ticker symbol BIDU. And Baidu on the daily charts, speaking of triangles, look at this triangle on Baidu on the weekly. Pretty amazing. I can just scoot this little line over, I can scoot this one over, and we're still in it on Baidu. So here on the daily, had a nice and some pretty interesting gaps the last 2 or 3 days. Had a beautiful high wave candle here on the 28th of April, and I was looking to see if it was going to close above 183.24. Close, but no chocolate cake, right? I think that's how the saying goes. So anyway, 183.24, we haven't closed above there yet. If we do, I'll be keeping an eye on Baidu to potentially break out of this triangle. Otherwise, looks like it's going to be the triangle as normal. Now, for the really fun analysis, let's talk Apple really quick. Ticker symbol AAPL. And I'm going to do you 1 or 2 other things again. Let's go look at just yesterday to figure out how myself, Steven Steckler, and many others played Apple this morning on this earnings gap.
If Apple doesn't open below 144.96, buy the dip from the 10 EMA. That's pretty much about it.
Now I realize only those in the afternoon trading room received that email and or that recording or that analysis. However, just this morning, you might have received another second edition Spring Portfolio 2017, also entirely for free. And this was hitting your inbox before market open this morning. If you were diligent enough, like a few traders were at the very, very end, was that exact same analysis on Apple. So I mentioned if it does not open below 144.96, buy the dip from the 10 EMA on the daily chart. That was the analysis in the stock portfolio that you received in your inbox this morning. Congrats for a lot of traders who just smashed a weekly options trade on Apple, buying the options at 145. Huge, huge win. Looking for Apple to probably and more than likely continue higher from here overall. I like the candle. I like the bounce off the moving average. Here's the weekly chart. Weekly chart looks good. My next target on Apple, 150, and we could get there by the end of May. So we'll see what happens from here. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in to your Wednesday Real Life Stock Review. Remember, you can click that subscribe button right there, and you can receive these for free 3 times a week. And I do take your requests. I'm happy to help any way I can. My objective is to educate and enrich lives all over the world. That is the mission, of course, at Real Life Trading. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll see you on Friday. And until then, remember, love life, and trade it. Bye.